Suspects are still in the building.
Were you in charge of Heathcliff's security? He's dead now.
Well, I guess you're fired.
So are you saying he had mental problems?
Dude, total psycho.
He can finish as quickly on his front as he does on his back.
He's fine.
It's true that Lord Heathcliff was my father. Not
What
that
the
he's
hell?
saying.
He would be accusing that someone was trying to poison him, and if I argue with him, he would call me incompetent.
Dr. Fumbles is not who he says he is.
And who do you say I am?
I say that you're someone who is not qualified to practice medicine at all.
And paranoia, everybody out to get him. Of course, now he's dead. Maybe he's right. I don't know.
How did Lord Heathcliff find out?
Thank you.
When he started eating off of plastic silverware,
He didn't know about
he got suspicious.
She just said he didn't know.
We're doing a murder mystery dinner. Professor Peacock.
General Custard.
Summer's here. She is the cop. That's your best friend that got murdered. This is his murder case file.
I'm gonna get down to the bottom of this, find out what happened.
There's the murder weapon.
That is terrible.
This is what killed your friend. Did you do it?
Too shocked.
He just smiled while reading the
Fix that
book.
one,
Like, yeah, I did that.
This is Detective Bassett reporting in. I received a call from Heathcliff Manor, Wuthering Heights Drive, about an alleged murder. Suspects are still in the building until backup arrives. It appears the deceased is Lord Heathcliff. Cause of death to be determined by coroner, but blunt force trauma to head and proximity of swimming pool suggests he was hit with a nearby candlestick and left to drown. There are no eyewitnesses to the murder. Yet to take statements from the suspects who have assembled for a party in honour of Lord Heathcliff's newest wife. Messages to be played after his death. Playing tape 1 now. I'm not sure if this is rewound enough or not. You're listening to Less I'm Dead Now. In a way, that makes me glad as I can stop recording these missives every day. On most other levels, however, I'm deeply disappointed not to be alive. More disturbingly, this recording is marked if murdered, so one of you miscreants has bumped me off. And I can tell you who did it right now. It was... Let me just try and turn up the volume on this contraption. Okay, not much to go on there then.
See, we're opposites.
Detective, how do you want us to introduce ourselves?
We are the lady of the house.
And then we'll go around from there.
You have to be gentle with the
I'm Fatale, Lord Heathcliff's wife, now a tragically young widow. I used to be an antiques dealer, but I gave up my job after our recent wedding so I could focus on being a good wife. Fortunately for me, this place is full of delightful antiques, from meerkat memorabilia to McDonald's Happy Meal toys. His lordship had excellent taste, as is clearly evident from his choice of spouse. That's all for me.
Great voice. Oh, wow. I'm Butler. Bubble.
Well, I'm the chef. My name is Blanche Batters.
Alright.
And I do all the heavy lifting around here. Baking, boning, beating, and bashing steaks with a...
Wait, what's boning?
I was trained by the best and the meanest teachers, mainly my mother. May she rest in pieces. I didn't have much to do with the Lord Heathcliff. I think he was too scared to visit the kitchen. But I'm sad he's dead. He never once criticized my cooking. Anyway, at the time of the murder, I was in the kitchen roasting his lordship's banana.
Just banana?
Yeah, just banana.
Well, most of you already know me as Professor Peacock, the esteemed academic. I suppose you could say that I was friends with Mr. Heathcliff. I would back him up in arguments, even though sometimes he had no idea what he was talking about.
Did he buy you that hat?
No, this is all my own construction.
Cool hat.
Thank you. It has to complete my look. Very Professor Core, you know what I'm saying? I would support him handling his financials. I would handle his academic things, and recently I got into the business of snooping. With that being said, I was hired recently, and one of you is extremely suspicious. So that's all I can say at present.
That's good shit.
Well, I'm the butler. At your service. I don't really do the murder thing. I did, however, visit Lord Heathcliff at the pool prior to his murder, but I was not the culprit. I was actually outside talking to the gardener about something of a personal nature, which I'd really rather not discuss at the present time. Thank you.
How is that so?
Really?
That's it?
That Butler was everywhere.
We'll just see what
He was
Peacock
the one
knows
who
about
looked in
you.
the shadows.
I'm Hazel, Whithering, and I look after this place. I'm the housekeeper. Without me, this place would look like an overcooked melon in a microwave. Lord Heathcliff never really appreciated me the way he should have, but I kept stabbing away for him.
Oh.
Not that I'm bitter, mind you. I'd actually rather he was still alive so I could give him peace of my mind.
I'm Dee Minor. I'm a classically trained concert violinist. You'll have to excuse me, I'm quite nervous. I'm not used to standing in front of people without a violin in my hands, but my Stradivarius has been mislaid.
You don't want nobody taking them, do you?
Chauffeur, Ford Escort. It's a pretty boring job, so at the weekends, I race Formula 3 cars. And they just offered me a permanent position. When I'm not behind the wheel, I'm usually getting paid to have dinner with nice ladies. I can't remember exactly where I was when Lord Heathcliff was killed, but I was definitely in the Manor somewhere. I don't see why I'm a suspect. I just handed in my resignation. Couldn't say the word. Anyway.
I am a Dr. Fumbles. And when I proclaim of someone be dead, they're going to be dead. They better not get up again. I say they dead, they dead. Lord Heathcliff, he was a good man. He was a good man. But he was enormous strain on the NHC. Enormous. I got like 9 phone calls from him. And I was trying to get here. On my way here, I get a phone call. The butler has declared him dead. There's no formal medical education at all. Just for I know that he could still be swimming laps in the swimming pool. He may not even be dead. Maybe he's not dead. I don't know.
My name is Misty Visions, and I'm a psychic. I knew Lord Heathcliff would die today. That's why I'm here. Well, that, and then he hired me as a party guest, special wedding gift for his new wife. I'm offering half-price tarot consultant with every palm reading I do tonight. Could death be in the cards for you too?
I'm General Custard, an ex-Army general and nowadays CEO of Jelly Security Services. We might wobble, but we don't fall down. I was here on business today. I'm sad to see old Heathcliff go, not least because he was a new client of ours.
I'm Sierra Tango. As the high-ranking and indeed only police officer present, I hereby take charge of this investigation. It's lucky Lord Heathcliff summoned me here tonight. I spent all day, every day, trying to find a scrap of crime in this village, and there's been none. None. How is this even possible? If I can solve this, they might even let me back into the Met.
Inspector Denaux, fresh detective at your service. I'm entirely not sure how I became a suspect, but clearly there must be a criminal genius in our midst. Lord Heathcliff invited me here to do one thing, and I have briefly forgotten what that was.
Sure.
Nevertheless, there is a murder to be solved, and I will be doing the solving, not that detective nonsense that we heard earlier. I'm So firstly, someone will need to point me in the direction of the crime scene. People say it was the pool room, but I cannot find it. Only a room with a giant snooker table.
I'm Cinders. Most of you know that I've worked here for the last 5 years as a maid. What you don't know is that Lord Heathcliff was my father. There's a funny story about him not knowing he had a daughter and me just turning up. I'm sure you're all thinking I bumped it all for the inheritance, but I haven't seen the will, and knowing him, he probably left it all to his cat anyway.
What is wellness?
Besides, at the time of the murder, I was picking apples in the orchard.
You were picking apples?
I was.
So where's the apples?
Oh,
You left them at the orchard?
he's got the hole.
Kind of suspicious. You don't even have the apples?
Oh.
Alright, I have a question for General Custard. Were you in charge of Heathcliff's security?
Yeah, daggone right he was.
He's dead now.
Oh, I guess you're fired.
It's true. Lord Heathcliff did recently award my company with his personal security contract. I feel pretty embarrassed about the whole murder thing. I feel responsible in a way.
You should.
Yeah. We'll never be hired in this town again.
Never.
We met quite accidentally at an antiques convention. I was looking for something old and valuable, and he was looking for something young and cheap. He never found his new watch, but we did find each other.
Sounds to me like you were looking for something old and cheap and you found him. That's what I think. Why'd you get married so fast?
Men of Heathcliff's age can't afford to hang about as today provides. One minute he's doing bedroom gymnastics, the next he's floating face down in a swimming pool. You just can't predict when these tragic accidents will happen, which is why I'm glad we all got the paperwork sorted when we did.
Well, you said that we can't predict, what's going to happen, but somebody here says they can predict that this was going to happen.
Yes, let's talk to Misty.
So how did you know that he was going to die? Was it a palm, or did you do it yourself?
I saw Lord Keefer's death in the cards. Usually they're not that clear, but this was unmistakable. I drew death, the tower, the hangman, and the happy squirrel.
Did you at least try to tell Mr. Heathcliff what you suspected?
Believe me, I tried. I even showed him the cards, but he just snatched them out of my hands.
I just have one question for you. Do you take a psychedelic? Like psychedelics? Do you use psychedelics to enhance?
I don't think psychedelic here.
No psychedelic for you?
Go away.
Okay. Because you sound like you take a psychedelic.
You take a psychedelic.
Can I ask a question or does it go in order? Okay. I'm asked the butler. Did you bring the murder weapon to the pool?
That's right. Not uncommon for his lordship to ask me to bring the candlestick to the pool area.
Was he alive when you saw him?
Oh, he was quite alive. The candle gave a surprisingly bright light, so I could only too clearly see his leathery body.
I have a question from Dr. Fumbles.
I have a lot of questions.
Yes, sir, you have a question? I answer any question. You ask a question, I answer a question.
What were Heathcliff's medical problems?
He was a good man. Okay? I have diagnosed him, and I have found him to be very much a hypochondriac, and for the most part, paranoia. If his food was not prepared for him the proper way, he would be accusing that someone was trying to poison him, and if I argue with him, he would call me incompetent. I'm not so sure about the paranoia part, but this reads paranoia, what I'm saying to you.
So are you saying he had mental problems?
Dude, total psycho. What else can I say? Yes, he have a mental problem by thinking paranoia, everybody out to get him. Of course, now he dead. Maybe he right. I don't know.
Why do you have a criminal record?
What? In my house?
What?
Well, alright.
I have an obsession with, shiny things. I admit I've done some pretty,
Shady?
shady things that I'm not proud of.
I hired her. She must have lied.
I mostly stole petty things, you know? Shiny trinkets, silver knickknacks here and there.
From my house?
I can't help it.
What happened to the silverware?
Did
That's
you
what
really
I'd like
lie
to
to
know.
get this job?
She's just a delicate flower.
More of a word gate toe.
A word dato? What the hell is that? We know not what a word dato is. I'm from America. I have no knowledge of this word. You tell us word mean. You make it up if you need to.
I would like to ask my housekeeper some questions.
Yes, ma'am.
Why did you frequently visit the pool?
Well, I always take French towels to the pool room where Lord Heathcliff has his swim. Today was no different. Although I didn't stay as long as I usually do.
Yeah, all the years you've been here, ain't no telling what you're into.
You're a woman of habit, we know this.
You have an agenda.
Well, usually I stay to watch his lordship take a few strokes. He can finish as quickly on his front as he does on his back.
Well, what else do you do in the pool?
I told you, I just watch. He swims up and down.
You watch my husband swim?
He finishes as quickly on the front as he does on his back. I can tell you, it's a good look. It's a good look. He's really hot.
Sierra Tango, why were you suspended from the net?
Okay, I was working on a cover in a chocolate factory, and I accidentally ate all the evidence.
You ate the evidence?
Naturally, it wasn't my fault. I have an extremely sweet tooth, but I'm hoping
And a
to
big
be
cup.
reinstated soon.
Well, why are you here at the Manor this evening?
Lord Heathcliff asked me to come over. I must admit, I got quite excited because I thought he wanted to report a crime. But apparently he just wanted to pick my brain about the novel he was writing.
So my husband was writing a novel? Likely story.
I wanted to question the inspector. What with the bomb scare?
Yes, what is that?
The first time I was invited here, there was a bomb scare. It did not defeat me. I found the bomb, took one look at it, and ate it.
Did you really eat the bomb?
Yes, I ate the bomb. It was one of those chocolate bomb cakes. And Monsieur Lord Heathcliff was terrified that he'd kill him. He feared the cook was poisoning him, and he asked me to spy on her.
So why did you eat the bomb? Sorry.
You ate a bomb?
It was the chocolate bomb.
Was it Reese's? I like Reese's.
It had like some Hershey syrup in it. That's what made it like the bomb. There's something inside the middle.
I'll ask Cinders. Cinders, are you really Lord Heathcliff's daughter?
It's true that Lord Heathcliff was my father. Not
What
that
the
he
hell?
seemed that pleased about it. But I knew he warmed up to me eventually. As an orphan, I always dreamed my parents would turn out to be rich, beautiful people. And then half that dream came true.
Well, the other half is sitting right here.
Why are you here?
I was the top prize in a cereal packet competition.
hell's a
Win
cereal
an
packet
evening with Dee Minor. I wish my agent wouldn't keep putting me up for these stupid things. I should be at home right now practicing something, not making small talk with a bunch of village idiots, no offense.
Had you met Lord Heathcliff before tonight?
No, we've never met. He didn't really move in the same circles as me. I mean, he's a lord, but that's just one of those fake titles you get on the internet, isn't it? I never met him.
We're waiting for, where is he?
I'm waiting for a black person.
Someone needs a question forward. I think that's suspicious.
I bet you should ask Peacock.
He's quite smart. I'm sure he could cover up a murder.
I would never.
Then who are you investigating?
Yeah, who are you investigating? That's my job.
Yeah, come on.
Well, as
I don't believe it.
it's not a secret who I was investigating actually, because as much as he was trying to butter me up earlier with compliments on my hat,
See why I don't believe you?
Dr. Fumbles is not at all who he says he is.
I believe it.
Listen,
I'm sorry, wait, what?
I said Dr. Fumbles is not who he says he is.
and who do you say I am?
I say that you're someone who is not qualified to practice medicine at all.
I have
all right,
a degree
all right.
on my wall that shows that I got my certification. Everyone knows that I failed my test the first time, but I retook my test and I passed my test,
You
and I
passed.
have all my credentials, and I take my oath very seriously.
I'm pretty sure that you took your second test at the clown college, not at any kind of test.
Oh! I don't know what you're talking about.
What did you find out?
Well, I can't say everything out right now.
Listen, I think you take psychedelic. What kind of psychedelic? Take a psychedelic?
I have never taken atropine in my life. I don't know what that
atropine? I ask you, psychedelic.
I mean, yes, general psychedelics, not anything specific, obviously.
That proves you know what I talk about. You practice psychedelica. Maybe you come visit with me in my office. I help you.
Don't worry.
I know you want to accuse me, but you don't understand.
See, I
need a help.
Hey, I think the real person we should be questioning here is Ford.
Ford.
Don't put me on the spot now.
What were you doing with Miss M. Fatale?
With his wife. Lady Heathcliff had dropped an earring down the back seat, and I was trying to find it. I was helping out, but she was blocking my way, so I guess from Lord Heathcliff's angle, it may have looked like I was groping around.
Did you want to know how Lord Heathcliff did? CEO, tell us.
Hey,
that's not the question.
We have a script. Did you ask him the second one?
He did.
He didn't ask me this. That wasn't the second one.
Did Heathcliff know you were an escort?
I'm sure Lord Heathcliff knew, unless when I said I was being paid to escort some women around, he thought I meant driving them from A to B. Maybe he didn't know then.
His crush on Blanche Batters.
Did you know about this?
These priceless Stradivarius has got walkabouts too. And it would be remiss of me should we tell them, Reverend, about how your brother, Lord Heathcliff, stole your fiancée from you at the altar. Did that make you enough to want revenge? But love turns to hate was driving Dr. Fumbles to have a heated debate with Professor Peacock in the library earlier. Ends with Cinders being the sole beneficiary to almost everything. You probably already knew that, didn't you, Cinders? Sierra has been doing a bit of moonlighting, in fact, but wearing what uniform?
Were you the sole beneficiary of the will?
I haven't seen the will, so I don't know. If it's true, I've just give it to the orphanage.
It's in the case file.
And
or
why did you keep working here?
I came here to meet my dad. Not sponge off him. He insisted that I pay my way. I think he was worried that I was only after him for his money.
Yeah, I think that's a safe concern.
Do you have a gambling addiction?
The hell yeah, he does.
I bet I know what you're thinking.
I bet on anything.
Dash it. I can't stop myself. I gamble on the sun setting tomorrow.
I told you.
If anyone wants the action, Lord Heathcliff did.
What paperwork are you talking about?
Not the will, if that's what you're thinking.
That's what they all say.
We had a prenup. It was my idea. I didn't want anyone accusing me of marrying dear, sweet, handsome old Heathcliff for his money.
Go digger.
In the unlikely but entirely believable event of his untimely death, I inherit nothing.
Well, what are you going to do now?
Yeah. What are you going to do now?
I'll move on. After the necessary grieving period has passed, I never stay in one place for long. I believe there's a big auction in Frankfurt next week, which I should probably attend. I have some things to sell.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Mr. Butler is suspicious of a 4-week notice.
Even though generations of my family have served the Heathcliffs for the last 400 years, I appear to have only accrued 4 weeks' notice.
Some bitch, you should have quit a long time ago. What the 400 years? What the hell?
It seems that that violin you were talking about earlier was quite a big ticket item, and you just lost it? What exactly happened to your Stradivarius?
Oh, you got her. She's it. She did it.
It was worth a small fortune, but isn't she an antique dealer? And Lord Heathcliff watched me home.
I was in
He requested my resignation. I guess he thought there was something going on between me and his wife and wanted revenge. But now he's dead. I suppose I'll be able to leave after all.
Why couldn't you just leave?
The employment contract I signed binds me to serve him for life, along with my next of kin. He was a bit of a stickler for tradition like that, and I never remembered to read the small print.
Do you have a crush on Blanche Batter?
I do not know what all this fuss is about. Yes, I did spill my crush on the cook. It was cranberry crush. As I recall, it tasted a bit tart. Fine. I will admit it. I have become tris fondue of Mademoiselle Batters. I spilled my drink so she could force to towel me down. Heathcliff wanted me to spy on her as he suspected her of poisoning him, but I could not.
What moonlighting have you been doing over there, Miss Sierra?
It's very hush-hush, very down low, and highly confidential. Strictly speaking, I'm not supposed to, but things are so quiet here. I've got a lot of time on my hands.
What's your relationship with Peacock?
I'm a drunk.
That we know. What's your relationship with Peacock?
Mostly we talk about different issues regarding that he does not believe that my credentials are legit. He accused me of failing my test. He accused me of cheating. He accused me of not having my degree. I tell you, is this information false? I have paperwork. Let's show you.
Heathcliff know what you were up to?
No, he didn't notice anything was missing. Honestly, I swear that man's so blind you could come up behind him holding a candlestick over his head.
Oh.
Well, let's just say he's not very observant.
How did Lord Heathcliff find out?
Thank you.
When he started eating off of plastic silverware,
He didn't know about
he got suspicious.
She just said he didn't know about it.
He didn't know about the silverware.
What did he do when he found out?
He never found out. He didn't know about the silverware.
So you play.
So I played.
Murder! Killer!
Hey, Misty Vision, what exactly happened the last time you were here?
Lord Heathcliff saw me reading tea leaves in the refreshment tent and launched into an extremely rude tirade telling everyone I was a charlatan and a fraud. How dare he? If my spirit badger hadn't been there to calm me down, I don't know what I would have done.
So he called you a fraud, and yet here you are today with us right now. Why are you here at Heathcliff Manor?
Merlin the Magical was trapped inside his own magic box again, so Lord Heathcliff called me.
Professor,
Yes.
what deal did you have with Heathcliff?
I had been a consultant with Heathcliff for about 15, 16 odd years now. And mostly it's been a give relationship. Well, I thought it was about time that I have a little bit of take, and I asked him for assistance in publishing my next novel, Life in a Vacuum Cleaner. And then he pulled out at the last moment.
So what's your novel about?
Well, it's about a very wealthy man who is ignorant of all the plights of those around him, and he eventually gets what coming to him. No relation, of course, to the good Lord Heathcliff.
That sounds suspicious.
It does.
Is this story real life?
Of course not. I would never steal from real life. That is plagiarism. It's punishable by expulsion in most societies.
Guess I gotta fess up and tell everybody I was in love with Heathcliff. I've been in love with him for 23 years, since the day I started working here. But let's face it, a rich, handsome man like him would never be interested in I ain't saying I'm a miserable spinster, but somebody like me. When he's got her to pick. So let's face it, I'm definitely outaged.
Did anyone ask
You are, I think
Miss
you are
Sierra a question?
Only one question someone asked me, not the second one.
Oh, not the second one.
They didn't ask you the second one?
No.
Okay, you ready? Why would you need to keep hush hush?
Because it's not really professional. If you must know, I work as a supergram. I already had the uniform in the cuffs, and if anyone gets to his hands, I can just arrest them. I suppose it would have come out sooner or later, but I'd rather keep it under wraps.
I think it's Cinders, if I had to choose.
And the inspector, she's under pressure to cook. She's supposed to be
Was that so you could be together?
investigating everything, so how could she be impartial when
Right.
she's like lusting after him? And this one, I don't know what she's doing. She was supposed to be entertainment, but this girl can't even keep track of her damn Strandavelius or whatever it's
Did you know Lord Heathcliff found Blanche's stash of stolen silverware earlier today? Did she want to shut him up? Didn't need the money, did he, General? Because you owed him £10 million.
What?
Yet who would benefit from him being dead? We already know Cinders benefits heavily, which may be why she was spotted buying some very expensive shoes. And Professor Peacock gets a cut too, don't you, Professor?
You get a cut?
Someone really should ask Miss Fatale about the Maltese meerkat. It isn't all about getting money, though. Sometimes it's about protecting your ability to earn it. It's time that Dr. Fumbles told everyone that he failed to pass his medical degree. Scalp. How would Misty Visions earn money if she looked like a fraud? Or was it Mrs. Whithering who had her love rejected? If you don't ask, you don't get. But in her case, she asked and still didn't get. It couldn't have been you, Ford, could it? I know you were at the pool, so you could have done it. Oh, sorry, you have told people you were at the pool, haven't you? Never mind. It's far more likely to have been the inspector. Don't look so surprised, Inspector. Lord Heathcliff did threaten to kill you earlier today.
What?
So go forth and sleuth everyone.
No,
The
not
very
the
best of luck
inspector.
in
Not the
solving
butler.
murder at the Manor.
He's the killer!
It's the general. Are you really at the pool?
I have to drive Heathcliff everywhere, even in the house. Ergo, I was waiting outside the pool in a golf buggy the whole time. Strange how I didn't see who the murderer was.
I don't know, but
Did you want him dead?
There's a pause.
I just wanted out of my stupid contract. I guess if him being dead means that can happen, I'm all for it.
Oh. But did you kill him?
I think I have a question for the inspector. The death threats that you received from Mr. Heathcliff yourself?
Today?
Today? What's that about?
I suspect Lord Heathcliff was the type of man that wanted everyone dead at some point. I took it with a pinch of salt.
So why exactly was he angry at you in the first place?
I have no idea. Perhaps it was because he caught me going after the cook in the kitchen. Make of that what you will.
Going at the cook. Wait a minute here. The cook's my wife now. Come on.
General Custard, did you owe Lord Heathcliff £10 million?
I do owe him £10 million. I was trying to win his vintage Bentley in the hopes that would balance things out. In hindsight, the Bentley probably wasn't worth that much, but I didn't think I'd lose.
When did you make the bet?
All bets are made and collected in the pool room. It's like a gentleman's club in there. I try to stay away when Lord Heathcliff's swimming, though. The horrors I've seen.
I would like to add the Did you fail your degree?
Everyone knows I failed degree first time I take test.
You say that every time.
Because that's what happens. Okay, here we go. Hold on. We gotta get a thing straight here. If you ask about his end result.
It's on page 2 again. Turn it around.
If you're innocent, say.
Don't tell us if you're innocent.
It's not a secret. I failed my degree, and when I allowed to retake it, I passed. Half with Peacock is regarding to the first test, I say. I tell you over and over again. You know, listen.
In your expert opinion, what was the cause of death?
How could I know? I'm suspected as being a suspect. They don't let me see body. I know get to examine body claimed dead by Butler before I get here. After I see body, then I tell you what I know. I know nothing. I've already told you I got here, I know nothing.
What does the paper say?
Everything I just said, my damn paper says.
We're just making sure.
Cinders, is it true you bought expensive shoes?
Who are you? The shoe police? Yes, I did buy expensive shoes. Actually, I paid for months to get them, so
look.
there.
I was wondering where the Bronx accent came from. You from the Bronx?
I walked my way up, down square.
I see.
To be honest, I didn't really fancy playing tonight, so the fact that someone stole my violin was a blessing in disguise. I mean, last night I was playing for the King of Denmark, and tonight I'm supposed to play at a dinner party for ordinary people. No, thank you.
A little snooty, ain't we? No, and Cynthia Anonymous blackmail notes?
Actually, it was me. There's so little crime. I have to invest ways to keep my skills sharp in case I'm ever called back to the mat. I send myself notes and then analyze them.
Are you worried about getting in trouble with the police?
It's not ideal. It's not like they can do much worse. And on the bright side, if they ever need someone to work undercover at a strip bar or a dodgy nightclub, I'll fit right in.
What will you do with
Say.
Honestly, I'll probably just use it as a doorstop. I'll look at the typewriter and think of the fond memories I have. And then maybe I'll sell it on eBay after I'm done reminiscing. It doesn't even work properly. I don't know if anybody else would like it. Broken typewriter, going once. No.
Did you kill Lord Heathcliff? All my readings are 100% genuine and accurate. I had no need to kill Lord Heathcliff just to prove I'm not a fraud. Can't you just divine who the murderer is? I've already tried, but my cards no longer seem to work. The tea leaves say it was a tall, dark stranger. My crystal ball shows an invisible assailant. Did Lord Heathcliff reject you?
Yes, he did. But I don't blame him for rejecting me. I mean, look at me, look at you. Come on. It doesn't say that. I think I'm on too strong. That's what happens when you finally let your feelings out. After bottling them up for so long, I could never harm him. I loved him too much.
Why were you rejected?
Look at me, look at you, come on. Oh, no. I hadn't taken that for his final answer. Besides, he was alive when I left him at the pool. The butler could vouch for me. If he could even be bothered, he's over there doing nothing.
The Maltese meerkat that was mentioned earlier.
Lord Heathcliff did own that particular piece, but it went missing from the locked safe in his office 2 days ago. Someone obviously knew what they were doing. I've heard it could fetch millions at auction.
Well, on a slightly different note, you keep mentioning how you like old things, Heathcliff being one of them. Did you exactly enjoy consummating with old things?
What sort of question is that to ask a grieving widow? Not that it's any of your business, but I suffer from terrible migraines, and Lord Heathcliff was usually very worn out from using the bedroom gymnastics set I gave him. Besides, our prenup specifically states I would still inherit certain antiques regardless of whether or not our marriage is void. Satisfied?
Satisfied enough. You were saying that Heathcliff never found out about the silverware, and yet we have reason to believe that he did, in fact, find out this very day that you had stashed away some silverware.
Nobody's gonna kill anywhere over some silverware. Spoons and forks.
It's awfully protective of the chef. Okay. I begged and begged him not to call the police. In the end, he agreed. As long as I gave back everything I'd stolen and left first thing in the morning after I made his breakfast.
How did he find out in the first place?
He caught me red-handed as I was stashing some stolen silverware this afternoon. He was horrified. I was stuffing butter knives in my bra.
Tonight, you will be voting the next camper off.
Does the inspector want to start with the accusations, this being your line of work?
I will have to suspect either Professor Peacock or the general. But I'm leaning towards Professor Peacock.
Slighted by this accusation. Cinders, who do you think did it?
I'm kind of torn between the doctor and Peacock.
Alright.
Very suspicious.
I'm thinking maybe Blanche Batter's got stuff in those knives down her chest. and they took the candle that was by her side and bumped him in the head and threw him in the pool. Or possibly the sweet and innocent Mrs. over there fought him with somebody, because boy, he did hold around a lot. So that is a possibility. So I'm switching between those two.
Personally, I think it's between three people. Cinders, the General, or Ford over there. Who do you think, fellas?
I believe it was the general. I see no way he could have paid back £10,000. £10 million. That's quite a debt. The only way around it would be to eliminate Lord Heathcliff.
I think it was Ford because he wanted to get out of his contract really bad, apparently.
I think it was Blanche's. It's because she was stealing silverware. And she got caught. But I also got suspicions with Professor Peacock.
I am in the will, but I don't benefit greatly from it. Carry on.
I mean, you are getting a typewriter, but different typewriters can be worth a lot of money. As you, I mean, if you watch Pawn Stores, I mean.
I take my oath seriously. Never do harm to anyone.
Don't read that part yet. Don't read that part yet.
Who do you think did
Who do you
it?
think did it?
It's the end of the game.
Yeah, but don't read that part yet.
Opinion.
Yeah, this one you gotta win.
And it's got nothing to do with failing a test that we've heard 900 times.
I think of Butler. Butler guilty. Butler killed him. His family slavery 400 years. 400 years. This family generation, they work for them. He killed him. He killed him dead. He want revenge. He decide no more. Butler killed him.
Oh, Fatale did it. There. That's it. That's it. I think it was Misty. Would have been awfully quiet.
Between Fatale or Cinders.
Because it was him, that's why I don't want to give it to him.
I think it was Cinders.
Gosh.
Just because
It's going really in her
that smile right there, that says guilty right there. A man just died, and she's laughing. That's who I think did it.
She wanted her inheritance.
Yes.
Good one
And
for it, huh?
she's buying shoes before she had money.
Who do you think did it?
It was the general. And if it wasn't the general, because he can't pay back all that money, it was the butler.
He's making sure to step out.
Yeah, he's actually.
Someone who wanted him dead for a very particular reason. And that someone is, actually I'm not going to tell you, because if I tell you, you might run, and I'll have to right shoes on. It wasn't me, and I appreciate it. If we could keep all that business about my other job, just between us. Anyway, I just stand here until one of you confesses, and then I'll escort you to a safe station.
Sierra Tango is out.
She's number two.
Number two.
I thought the lordship and I had an understanding. True, he never actually said it out loud, but as long as I cooked his meals and mopped up his spillages, what did it matter that I squirreled away a silver spoon or a carriage clock here and there? Well, apparently it did matter, and he wasn't best pleased when he saw what I was hiding in my drawers. I really gotta read these beforehand. And yes, he fired me, but quite frankly, I'm happy as long as I don't have to go back to jail. There's real criminals in there.
Number three.
I would just like to preface this by saying, although I'm flattered some of you suspected me, I am not the killer. I am
suspicious.
I'm an academic. I'm an artist. I'm an advisor. As much as honestly it would have pleased me to watch him choke to death on my manuscript. It wasn't me, I promise. So what if you backed out at the end? I've been reading about self-publishing, and I think that's the route I'm going to go with the rest of my life.
Well, me personally, I love the guy. Loved him for years. But if I didn't kill him years ago, why am I going to kill him now? He turned me down, yes. But I knew he had a new wife, and I was perfectly happy for him. I wasn't really happy, but I was going to put up with it.
I am alone, not to kill. And I solve crimes, not commit them. The only thing I've done wrong is fallen for the lovely Blanche Bathurst. Yes, Lord Heathcliff did threaten to kill me, and I would not report anything bad about the cook. But then, perhaps there was nothing bad to report, eh?
Number 6.
Number 6?
Who's number 6?
Where do these numbers come from?
On your whodunit paper.
They were on that card at the bottom.
True, he never actually said it out loud, but as long as I cooked his meals. Did I get your paper somehow? Where's mine? She's with I take my hypocritical oath very seriously. Do no harm to anyone, even when you really deserve to have been harmed on. He was trying to get me kicked out of my practice. But I had nothing to worry about. I passed the degree fair and square. It wasn't me.
Number 7.
That would be me.
The butler didn't do it.
As I've said, I did not kill Lord Heathcliff. I was most upset that he fired me. However, I had construed a series of most entertaining tricks to be performed. It would be very amusing, but it would work much better if he were alive. I told you guys. You like that, Rob?
Alright, so who's number 8?
I never touched the old coot. Although I may have sent him some anonymous death threats to encourage him to use my firm. I was supposed to pay up to 10 million pounds. I owed him today, and I guess now I don't have to. Hoorah! Now I wonder if I'll be able to get a good deal on that Bentley.
Just because my dad wasn't that pleased to see me, and just because he said some terrible things about my mom being a bigger lady.
It's funny that he said some terrible things, right?
Doesn't mean I was going to bump him off. I just lost my mom and was prepared to accept all manner of shortcomings. So I didn't kill him, and I'm pretty pissed at whoever did. Gosh.
I can't believe I'm even having to say this, but I'd never kill my own husband. Sure, we had our differences, what newlyweds don't, but if you think I was only after him for his money, you'd be wrong. I was actually after him for his lovely Maltese meerkat. But I'd get my hands on that whether he was dead or alive, so move along, nothing to see here.
11.
What a performance.
Look, I've done my job. I came to Lord Heathcliff's stupid dinner party. You've all spent an evening with me. I've more than fulfilled the conditions of the cereal packet competition, and I didn't kill anyone. So if someone could just fetch my violin, I'll be off. I'm not sticking around here any longer.
Well, it's only down to 2. These 2 right here. One of you two's the murderer.
He's number 12. Oh! Oh, now we know.
Lord Heathcliff was an enlightened, narrow-minded, mean-spirited human with no soul, and he utterly deserved everything he got. Much as I would have enjoyed hitting him over the head with a candlestick, it wasn't me. I'm just glad there's one less dark energy force in the universe.
Well, Formula 3 job was my dream, and it was going to come true, but the old fart couldn't bear to see me happy. He really did think I'd been messing around with his wife. Well, a gentleman never asks and a lady never tells. But I do remember him doing laps in the pool, making car noises, and repeatedly saying no a lot. So I knew what I had to do. I had to bump him off and frame one of you. Killing him was easier than I thought. The pool did a lot of the work, after I'd smashed him in the face, anyway. Framing someone else was a bit more difficult, especially since I've admitted to being at the pool and being outside the whole time. Should have thought that one through more. Anyway, I'm giving away freebies until the police arrive. If any of you young ladies want a hot date with a bad boy, now is the time.
Tango will arrest him.
In prison, there will be no ladies.
And you know what? I haven't solved the case so far. You didn't get Escort. What kind of inspector are you?
It says right here, I haven't solved a single case. I'm playing that character.